In breaking news coming in, India have made it 6 out of 6 at the Cricket World Cup. India have literally hit a 6 in the tournament. Going into this game, the men in blue were the only team that were undefeated in the tournament, and that trend continues. Even the defending champions in England could not find a way to get past Rohit Sharma and his men. So 6 games for India in the tournament so far, 6 wins for India. In this game particularly, there were a lot of things to be focusing on. For the very first time in this tournament, India had been batting first. There were question marks whether India would be able to set a winning total. Do they know, or can they follow a template that can ensure that they continue to win games when they're batting first, just as they've been doing while they've been chasing totals? And that was the real test for the Indian team. They batted first. At that point, during the mid-innings, it felt like they may be a bit under par. 229 is what India had got. 230 didn't seem like a mountain for the English team to climb, especially considering that they bat very, very deep. It was a slight edge to England in the mid-innings. But what a lot of us had not taken into account was the fact how good the Indian bowlers have been in this tournament. Throughout this tournament, we've seen teams that have tried to build a partnership, teams that have threatened to get a big total on board. The Indian bowlers have come to the fore and picked up crucial wickets at crucial intervals. This time, it was an outstanding performance from the bowling lineup. They did not give England any chance. The biggest partnership that they may have had would have been the opening partnership, 30-odd runs, what Bairstow and Malan got. It seemed like England, starting in very aggressive fashion, that they could chase that total down, but it wasn't to be. Jasprit Bumrah, as he's done for most parts of his career, with the new ball, giving India some initial breakthroughs, and then as soon as Jasprit Bumrah was done, you see the rest of the Indian bowlers, especially Mohammed Shami, only playing his second game of the tournament, and guess what? In just 2 games, he's got a total of 9 wickets. A total of 9 wickets is what Mohammed Shami has got in just the 2 games that he's played. Once again, Jasprit Bumrah picking up 3 wickets. And then the other wicket taker for India, as we've seen in the tournament so far, Kuldeep Yadav, picking up those 2 wickets. So once again, a dominating performance from the Indian team, led by the Indian bowlers. And 129 is what England could manage. It's a huge win. It is a huge win for India by a margin of 100 runs. Not a lot of people would have believed that when in the mid-innings, India had just about got 229. Joining us live, our cricket analyst in Robin Uthappa. Robin, like yourself, probably even I was tempted to go with England. Seemed like a below par total. We know the pitch is tricky, but forget the pitch. Just talk about the performance of the Indian bowlers. It wasn't just, a close game. It was a complete one-sided game. No chance at all for England batters in the kind of form that we've seen. Jasprit Bumrah, Mohammed Shami, Kuldeep Yadav.
None whatsoever. As in, they didn't stand a chance at all. And Shami can be more than a handful when he's bowling with a new ball, and the conditions help a little bit. He just needs a little bit of help, and if he's got that, then he will be all over any opposition that he plays. And that's exactly what he did today. As in, you could see Stokes, he was all but at bay through the course of those 10 balls that he was there. And, he just made everyone look a little silly, to be honest. And he does that. He's got that ability. And he can do that when the ball's doing a little bit for him. Because of his seam position, he becomes such a dangerous bowler. And I've always maintained this. It does not matter how many games he's played. He will always be a top-class bowler who will always be successful if the conditions help a little bit as far as seaming is concerned. And, if the conditions are slightly helpful, Shami will always be more than a handful to deal with, and we've seen that yet again today. I think he just makes a strong case to be the top 2 fast bowlers in this side when Hardik comes back.
Well, you know, Robin, I don't think I would have ever said this. I would have never imagined saying this, that actually Hardik Pandya's injury, in a sense, could prove to be a blessing in disguise. I know that you're missing him. I know that the Indian team misses the balance that he brings. But had it not been for that injury, we probably wouldn't have seen Mohammed Shami play at all in this World Cup. In that sense, now the kind of form that Mohammed Shami is showing would be very, very difficult to drop him going forward.
Well, I certainly believe it. At some point he was going to play because you know, in a tournament like this, when it's so long, you don't want to play all your fast bowlers, or you don't want to play your fast bowlers all the time. You want to rotate them. And when you have high quality fast bowlers like we do, you know that you know, Shami will not start because he's also 35, 36. You got to look after a bowler of his caliber as well. And if you want to extend his career and bring more laurels to the country, you want to extend and use him wisely. And credit to Rahul Dravid and his team and Rohit Sharma for being able to use Shami the way they have, and credit to Shami as well for you know, being so accommodating and saying that, you know, use me as and when you want to use me, and I'll stack up performances. And I think that camaraderie within the group has been fantastic. Communication within the group has been fantastic, and you got to give credit to both the captain, the coach, the support staff, and the player. It's himself, you know, because you know, they're all on the same page, and you can see that. And, you know, like I said, I knew he was going to play at some point in time. And whenever he did play, he was going to take wickets. And I'm not surprised about his performance. I'm very happy for him.
Tell us a bit more about Mohammed Shami. Robin, one thing you pointed out, which was that, you know, his seam position is such that every time he lands it on the seam, you know he's going to be dangerous. And that's one of the primary reasons why he picks up so many wickets. But just tell us a bit more about his pace. Doesn't always, when you're seeing it on television, doesn't always seem like the quickest bowler that is going around. But tell us, you may have faced him in the nets or maybe in the IPL. Can you tell us, is he quicker sometime? You know, we often hear batters talk about this one bowls a hard ball. Is he one of those bowlers much quicker than the speed gun suggests?
What one's got to love about Mohammed Shami is that he's maintained his fitness really, really well. Right, and I'm saying fitness simply because he's bowling the same pace he was bowling 5-7 years ago. His pace hasn't come down. He's not the quickest in the shed, but at the same time, he's not the slowest either. He's a good 140, 144 between that range. And when you get the ball to seam around at that pace, you can be very, very dangerous. And what you got to love about Shami is the fact that he understands his bowling so well. And he sticks within his lines. You know, he knows his extent of bowling and what works for him, and he stays within those lines. He doesn't go out of it. He's not perturbed by anything that happens. If he doesn't get wickets, if he gets wickets, he still bowls the same way. So it's not rocket science what he's doing. He comes there, he hits. He knows that his biggest strength is the seam position, and he knows what he needs to do as far as tweaking those positions are concerned to get the ball to go in and go away. And he hits the back of the length in a very, very disciplined manner. He's a lot like Virat Kohli, honestly. You know, when it comes to managing his skills are concerned, doing and repetition of what works is concerned, they're very alike in that sense. They're like for like almost. You know, Virat knows what he needs to do as far as batting is concerned. Through, you know, for example, through chasing, when he's chasing down the scores, he knows exactly how to go about chasing. He knows how to play the boring part of the one-day innings. Similarly with Shami, he knows how to bowl in a one-day game with the new ball, with the semi-new ball, or with the old ball. He knows the areas to bowl. He knows what his strengths are. And he's got a very sharp bouncer that he uses brilliantly. So that's what makes Shami the great bowler that he is. And I think looking at his fitness right now, he looks good to go for me for another 3-4 years for sure.